Hello, hello. Thank you everybody for joining to this new session. We will be talking today about sales, sales that scale. So, if you don't know, I've been doing these sessions every week, and we talk about a topic for a business. We just finished about marketing. Today we're gonna talk about sales. And this sales training it'll be 3 sessions basically, so 3 weeks. So if you know someone who need helps with sales, this training might help them. So please share the stream with them because this will be really good. This is something that helped me in my company and also in what I do for other companies. Um, so again, today sales that scale. We want to scale, and to do it, we need to do some things. So this is what we will be reviewing today. Basically, we'll be talking about the AAA framework, and that's very important. And I'll be just sharing with you thoughts and experiences I had. And if you have questions, you can ask me. And that's basically what we do in this stream. So let's get started here. Number one, well, sales is not just about scripts, right? It's not just about reading a script and letting everybody know, hey, I'm selling this and that's it. It's about standards, especially if you want to scale. Um, you need more than just motivation. You're handling a team, and yes, you do team buildings and you do commission and you do bonuses and you try to motivate them the best you can, but you need more than that. So what we need is to understand what is holding you back. Why are you not scaling? What is the problem? What is the issue? So that you can find what to fix first. Okay? And then how to build a team that actually close deals. Because that's what you want to do, right? Before we were talking about marketing, and we said that marketing, um, the objective of marketing is not to sell. The objective of marketing is to catch the attention of the potential clients, so that then a sales team can sell, can close the deals. So marketing is all about a transaction, catch the attention and send me a message. That's marketing. Sales is more closing. And specifically today, we will be talking about scaling. So if you want to scale, if you number one you need to have a team that close deals. If they're not right now, then what is holding you back? That's what we want to figure. Every time we're talking about sales, why you're getting hold back. What do you need to fix? Okay. So let's start with this framework, the AAA framework: attitude, activity, and approach. This is so important. Like, um, everything starts with the attitude. If you don't have a good attitude, then the people notice that. And I'm not talking about attitude on the sales, all right? You're in a call and your voice. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as a salesperson, how is your attitude? Are you thinking all the time something like, oh, this is so boring, I need to do calls. Oh, I need to um report. I need to work on the KPIs. I need to put a tag on the system that I follow up. I need to leave a note. If your attitude is bad, if your attitude is negative, uninspired, um, maybe you're thinking small. Maybe you're influenced by people, by your family, like your environment, like let's say you started your business, right? And they're like, oh, you're not gonna make it, and then that attitude makes the difference. So if your attitude is negative, or if you're surrounded by negative people, that impacts directly in yourselves. Okay, so evaluate your attitude, and not just your attitude, but the attitude of your team. Are they negative? Are they positive? That will impact also the other members of your team. So you need to take a look, right? That's the first thing you want to do is check your attitude. Some ways to get back into a good attitude: connect with your goals. If you have goals, if you know, oh, I want to sell this amount, I want to do this, then you start thinking positively, like, oh, because I want to achieve this goal, I need to this and that. So check your attitude, and let's try to. That's number one thing. Okay. Activity, the level of activity that you're taking every day, it's also related with the attitude. Yes, you can track time. You can say, oh, I'm working eight hours a day. I'm working 12 hours a day. I'm working 16 hours a day. Are you actually working? What are you doing with your time? You schedule yourself to make calls, 1 hour of calls, and you call 20 minutes, and then that's good enough. One of the things that you can control is the level of activity that you have. And it's related to your attitude. If you're positive, you'll try to do those things and try to do more. So the level of activity that you do is the easiest thing that you can fix, that you can change. That's the easiest thing you can change, your activity level. Something I like to tell my team is, hey, I'm not asking you to work 12 hours a day. I'm asking you to work 8 hours with a good attitude, with a good level of activity. Sure, you won't be perfect. You won't work the full hour all the time, but can we get an 80%? Can we get a 90% of activity? Can we be that productive? And instead of only having 1 hour of activity, like, oh, I work 1 hour and the rest I'm lying, I'm not working. Check that, because again, easiest thing to change is the level of activity. Okay, think about it. If you can do maybe a little bit more, a little, usually I do 25 calls in an hour. Can I do 30? Can I do 30? That's 5 more calls in an hour. If I can replicate that multiple times, what the result will be? Will I sell more? Probably yes. Just because of that 5 more hours, 5 more calls per hour. So if you can get more activity with a better attitude, is easier. But you get more, right? Let's say you're recording videos. Can I record 2 additional videos? Will that help you? Yes. So the level of activity is super, super, super important. Approach. Um, when you're running ads, for example, what are they saying? When your client is saying no, what is your answer? That's your approach. Is how am I taking care of what is happening around me, right? That's the approach. So if you have a good approach, if you have like if you have a in your sales example, you're selling, a lot of people will say no. But what is your approach? I personally like when people say no because then I can ask, why not? What is the problem? Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I don't trust you. Oh, I need to ask my mom. I need to ask my wife. I need to. So the approach that you have on what happens will make the difference. This is the triple A framework: attitude, activity, approach. If you're able to analyze this in your team and to figure, okay, this attitude is wrong because this and that, this activity level is bad because this and that, this approach is wrong because they're not using what we planned, then you start working on that and you'll see the results. For sure, you will see the results. Okay. Now, before I continue, if something of what I'm talking makes no sense or you have questions, please let me know in the comments because I like to answer your questions. If you're not sure how to fix one of these problems, please let me know because I'll be happy to help fixing these problems. If you succeed with this, I'll succeed. So let's work together on getting your team, your sales team, with the triple A framework. Okay. So same. We will be talking all about this triple A, right? So bad influence, bad sales. If you have a team that between them they're not positive, or even yourself, if you're around family drama, if your team just makes excuses out of everything, if they doubt, if you have doubt, if your team is doubting, then that will disconnect you from what? From a good process of selling. So you need to, like, this might sound awful, but if you have people around you who is a bad influence, who is negative, who is not letting you do what you have to do to sell, stop being with them. Find other different friends. Find people more positive. Find people who can help you to sell. People with the same objectives you have. People maybe with experience. People, a mentor, someone who can help you. Just think about it, right? If you're around people who just make you feel bad, make you feel bored, or just negative, with a negative influence, it will be completely different if you go on a I don't know, to a dinner with friends and they're like, oh, I was working in this and look, this, I increased my sales by 30% by doing this. Or maybe just being positive, like, hey, I know you can do it, I trust you, I know you can do it. It is different. So stop the bad influence in your life and get good influence. That is extremely difficult because sometimes it's a family member, sometimes it's a coworker that maybe you need to fire. Um, but if you do it and hire someone different and be around some people different, you'll see the difference. You will feel different. You'll be able to do more things. Okay. You start thinking smaller when you have bad influence. You start thinking, oh, I'm not gonna make it this month, maybe only three, I don't know, I'll sell only 10% of what I sold last month. You start just going down. So stop that. Okay. You stop executing like a pro. Maybe you were doing all the right steps, you were doing it, you were being diligent, being organized, doing the things that you know you had to do, and you stopped doing them because of the bad influence, because of the negativity, because of your attitude, because that your attitude changed because of the influence you received, or because just your attitude or your team's attitude is bad. You need to change that. If someone don't want to change their attitude, the question is, should that person still be part of your team? A rotten apple around other apples, rotten makes the other to rot. So if you have a bad influence in your team, maybe you have to fire them. Maybe you have to replace them. Think about it. Think about it. Maybe even you need to change your own attitude first. But this is one of those difficult things to change, and um, that's why I was mentioning before that the level of activity is one of the easiest things to fix. Okay, now the goal. If you have a goal, you have a connection. You're connected to your goal, and if you do, and if you have a good attitude, you will work to get it. Right? You know your goal. You know the math. You know what you're missing. So you need to connect, right? If you know the goal, if you know the math, what you're missing is execution. You're missing a good plan. You're not you're not executing what you need to do. Maybe your team is not making calls. Maybe your team is not answering messages, or maybe not the proper way. So that is execution. You need to fix that. And how? It's connecting to your goal again. How can you connect to your goal, or your team? How can your team connect to your goal? How can we all working together to achieve that goal? The answer is, well, these are four ideas you can do to reconnect. Okay, write it down daily. Let's say you have the goal of $10,000 in sales. Write it down. $10,000, and I sold yesterday 500. So 9,500 to go. That will help you to visualize your goal. Say it out loud. Maybe you have a meeting every day where you talk about your goals. Hey, our goal is 1,000, 10,000. We are this amount left to get to that goal. Track the numbers. Who is selling the most? Who is not selling? What is happening? Tracking is not just sales. It's how many calls are you making? How many messages are you sending? How many new contacts are you having every day? How many good contacts are you having? How many referrals? If you track the numbers, you can then see the problems and start the execution to be better. Okay, so do it. Write it down, visualize it, say it aloud, track numbers. If you do this, you will have a better understanding of what is happening in your company, and you'll sell more, because you will see, oh, I'm not selling because nobody's calling. This sales rep is selling. It's calling 800 people a month, but this other one is only calling 30 a month. Why is that one not selling? Obviously, he is not making the effort to call. So you need to fix it. You need to fix that. Um, if you're not tracking KPIs, if you're not tracking what your team is doing, then probably they're not doing enough. Probably they have to raise the level of activity. But if you don't have a standard, if you don't know what is happening, you don't have a way of saying to anybody, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You need to track things. So if you're not, start put down the key performance indicators that you need to track. and start doing it right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Do it right now. Okay. So if you have questions, let me know in the comments. But if you're thinking of someone who might be interested in this content, please let them know that we are online right now, that we are reviewing this sales process, and that we will have more sessions next week. Um, and maybe they'll like this. That maybe there is something that they will need and that they will apply that will solve some of their problems. Okay. So your team might be part of the problem. If your team is not following a clear process, then the results will become unpredictable. If you don't have a process, you need a process, something that people can follow. If they can't follow the process, hire someone else. Because if they follow a process, if you track KPIs, you will see that the numbers, they they don't lie. You'll see how you'll start understanding, oh, I need 200 leads to close 20. And that means if I'm doing advertising that for 200 leads, I need $3,000. And that will be 20 people that are close, and that will produce, I don't know, $20,000. So you'll know your math. If you know your math, if you know your goal, then what you're missing is execution. If you don't even know your math, it's because you don't have a defined process. It's because you're not tracking things. It's because you're missing things. So your result is unpredictable. So start working on this. Define a clear process. Follow the process. After you define a process, you'll see how you can improve the process. But you have to start with something. So define your process. Now, leadership is not about control. It's about creating clarity and alignment. If you have a clear process, your team can follow it. If you hire a new person, that person can follow the process, can be trained on the process. But if you don't have anything, you just hire someone, okay, yeah, just go sell. That won't work. That result will be unpredictable. So, leadership, again, is not about control. It's about creating clarity and alignment. Being able to track results, being able to track what is happening will help your leadership to improve, to help your team to improve. Maybe you have a good salesperson, but they just need a little process to make it happen, to get better results, to increase your sales. It's about a process, a repetitive process. Okay. Okay. So on this, your team, you need to train like a pro. Why? Because you're competing against pros. You need to make sure that you know what you're doing. So what can your team do? They can role play every day. They can prepare for objections. No, I don't want to buy that. Why? Why not? Be prepared to answer that no. Audit performance. One change at a time. If you change 20 things, you won't know if something worked and something didn't work. Change one thing and work and track the results. Yes, instead of calling 25 people an hour, I'm calling now 30 people an hour, and that increased my sales. So track what is happening, evaluate, and then do you need to make another change? Then do it after you are able to track the results of that one change. Okay. Train like a pro athlete. Think about the best athlete you know. How many hours they train a day? At what time do they wake up to train? Do they skip training just because? Do they skip a meal? Do they eat bad with bad habits? No. And that's why they are pro athletes. So you have to train as if you were a pro athlete. You need to train because your profession is sales. So you need to train how to sell. This is super important. This is what will make your team be a pro team instead of just an okay team. Train every day like a pro. That needs to be your rule. Okay. All right. So this was the training for today. Okay. The AAA framework. This is my favorite. Attitude, activity, approach. Identify this and you'll succeed. Because if you have a good attitude, you can work on all these things that we mentioned. You can track KPIs. You can do all these things. That is my favorite. Okay. So work on that. If you don't know how to do it, please go right now to navasautomation.com and schedule a consultation with me. I'll be happy to see your process. I'll be happy to help you identify the things that you and your team can improve. But you have to go right now and schedule that free consultation. Maybe it's for a friend of yours. So tell him, hey, go there, schedule a free consultation. You'll increase your sales. This is a decision. This is action. This is your attitude. You're showing attitude when you do this. You're showing your level of activity increasing when you do this. You're changing your approach to have a better way of selling. Okay? So don't miss this opportunity. Okay? So thank you for joining. We are Navas Automation. And thank you. I'll see you next time, next week, next Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Don't miss it. Thank you very, very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.